So, what do you say we finally finish up this war campaign and end this war?
What needs done?
Nixidon, the time has come. We may have defeated Ajara, but we still have to deal with Sylvanas. Though our position is not ideal, we have mobilized our available forces and stand ready to finish this war. King Rin wanted me to brief you on the situation before we join him. There have been some interesting developments. Begin the briefing, Master Shaw.
Anduin, Sylvanas' actions have threatened us all, and day by day, her power grows. If our world is to survive, we must strike while we still can. Meet with me, and we will speak.
So few.
How many can you provide?
Enough for one final assault. If that fails, we're done. If we end her reign, what kind of war chief will you be?
The horde I joined was birthed in blood, tainted by corruption. The road that led to the Dark Portal was long and wide, paved with the bones of innocence. We called it the Path of Glory.
You can actually see it in Outland.
That was the great lie upon which the Horde was founded. That anything we did was honorable. Thrall, Rosen, they were not the true heirs to Blackhand's bloody legacy. Sylvanas Windrunner is.
No. No, this is the Horde. Led by you. Someone who has
Honor. I've never known honor. They deserve more. But the Horde is doomed to be shackled by the chains of the past.
The Horde has no exclusive claim to regrets. Arthas, Dalen, the ghosts of the past haunt us as well.
We could not fill the chasm between the Horde and Alliance if we labored 1,000 years. You know this.
Then what are we fighting for?
Unfortunately, I think Saurfang may be right. I hope he's wrong.
Soldiers, on your feet!
Start breaking camp immediately!
Lord Saurfang?
Zakan, where is our home?
Orgrimmar?
Not our city. Our home.
Azeroth.
Azeroth.
And ours?
Azeroth.
Right now, there are only two forces in this world that matter. One bent on harming our world.
And one that will protect her.
So, what are we doing?
Breaking the cycle.
You know, I keep hoping that what was just said there was going to be something that would resonate with a lot of people when it came to the realization about why I keep saying that the faction war at this point is just getting ridiculous and stupid. Because when you hear stuff like that about... Hold on. When you hear stuff like that about them, you know, saying that it's about just two groups, not the Alliance and the Horde. It's those who would destroy our home and those who would protect it. Like, people say, oh, then you wouldn't have war in Warcraft. I keep hearing this argument, this excuse, tirelessly, endlessly from other players whenever we talk about how the faction war needs to end. And people say, oh, well then, but it's Warcraft. You know, then that would be the end of Warcraft and all that. And I couldn't disagree more. Warcraft is not about the faction war. That's not what Warcraft is, because as we have seen time and time again, in every installment of this series, going back to Warcraft 3, you know, you could... I was thinking about Warcraft 1 and 2. There weren't any external forces then at that point, because it was still mainly, the Horde Alliance, but then again, that was still the demonic horde that was run by the Burning Legion, which also included Gul'dan and Ner'zhul and all that. It wasn't until Warcraft 3 where the unification of them working together to fight against these greater forces like the Burning Legion, like the Scourge, like the Old Gods, all these forces every time that have come after us, and we have unified to fight them to protect our home. That's the real, what Warcraft is, to me, has really been about. Not Horde versus Alliance, but the people of Azeroth, Horde and Alliance, together, fighting greater common enemies that don't care what faction we're on, because they just simply either want to destroy us, corrupt us, enslave us, take your pick, depending on who it is that we're fighting. And they don't care what faction we're on. They just care that we are here on Azeroth. They either want Azeroth or they want to destroy us or whatever. That's what Warcraft is, really, to me, is truly about. And that's why it's like, at this point, it's hard for me to actually enjoy stuff PvP, because in lore and, a story, it's like, especially if you're a player who plays both factions, and this is why a lot of people, if you ask, who you're loyal to, I mean, this is why many players have now been saying they're bi-factional, because they've been playing characters on both factions, and they grow attached to their characters on both factions. I'm not saying that there aren't players out there that only play one faction. Of course there are. But if it's hard for me to have hatred or anything towards one faction or the other. Now, if you force me to choose, I still feel, drawn to identify with the Horde, because the Horde that they were discussing there, Sourfang, he was talking about how the real Horde was the one that Blackhand led, the Path of Glory and all that. But that's not true. The real Horde is the one that I saw formed when Thrall and Grom took the orcs to Kalimdor, met up with not Vol'jin at the time, Sen'jin and the Darkspear, and then met with Cairn and the Tauren, and they banded together. They also met Vol'jin along the way, and they banded together, and that became the Horde, which became a family. And this is what was said in Mists of Pandaria. Horde means family. And I've always felt that way with that Horde. That's the real Horde. I've never felt that way with the Alliance, but as I've tried to make it clear and shown during this playthrough, during my time playing my Alliance characters, including this one, the Alliance has grown on me. I'm not anti-Alliance like I used to be. I used to be full-on 100% Horde, anti-Alliance, boo the Alliance. Not anymore, because I've now grown attached to some of my Alliance characters. And as we have seen, there's good in the Alliance and good characters. And this was also shown to me not just in BFA, but also in Legion, especially with Velen and the Draenei. There are still things on both sides. I'm not saying the Horde is completely perfect or anything. Not at all. I mean, but there's good and bad on both sides. And to pick, at this point, to just simply pick one over the other, it's like, it just feels like we're at a point where it's like, enough. It's not about Horde versus Alliance. It should be about the protectors of Azeroth versus the forces that keep coming after us. I mean, in the next expansion, we're going to be dealing with the Scourge, which no longer have a Lich King to rein them in. We're dealing with Sylvanas yet again, and we're dealing with this new big bad called the Jailer, Not to mention some of the other forces that will no doubt try to destroy us in the Shadowlands. And I also wonder, are they going to come after Azeroth or after us on Azeroth? I don't know. But the point is that when they first announced this expansion, they were playing it up and advertising it as if it was going to be the return to what Warcraft is supposed to be, Alliance versus Horde. This is what J. Allen Brack was saying on stage at BlizzCon. And we then reached a point here where we realized that's not what this should be about. Because as Lorthamar said, actually I think it was Jaina who said it, this war has been distracting us from the true threat. The real threat, which is the threat we should have been focusing on together right from the beginning. But because there are people on both factions that cannot let these grudges and hatreds go, the line that Anduin and Sourfang said about how the gap between the Alliance and Horde probably can't be filled, even if it, we were to try to do so for another 1,000 years. Sadly, it may be true. I hope at some point that's going to stop, but hopefully that will... I just want this to stop. I'm one of those who's tired of it. I know I'm not alone. I know there are plenty of other people that are tired of the faction war as well. But there's always, there's seeds for that to continue, and I will be showing that, which is part of the reason why I want to, in the next video, just show turning in the quest, because then there's supposed to be another cutscene that I can show you guys that takes place in Stormwind. But what do you say we instead head on over to Razor Hill and try to take down Sylvanas? Normally, I would not be able to do this as an Alliance character because I would probably get flagged for PvP. But I'm pretty sure this is a separate instance where I'll be able to do this without issue. Alright, so you have Anduin, Shaw, Jaina, Chandris, Thrall, Sourfang, and Rokan.
Greetings, friend.
Ooh, now here's an interesting question. Where is Tyrande? She hasn't responded to my missive since departing for Darkshore. I fear that vengeance has consumed her. Yep. I believe so too.
Be vigilant. For the Alliance above all.
Thank you for responding with haste. Your arrival is timely. Sylvanas' loyalists have collapsed part of the canyon's path to Orgrimmar. We are cut off from our vanguard, and I fear that they will be destroyed if we cannot reinforce them quickly. Our forces are few in number. We cannot afford to leave them stranded for long. Tigmaster Overspark and Gazlo believe that they have a solution. Hurry and aid them however you can.
Victory in the light.
King Rin, may we speak?
Of course.
Our sister is patient. She knows we have precious few soldiers left. While we lay siege to Orgrimmar, she will whittle away our numbers. But Sylvanas is not the only threat we face. The old god has been freed. I can hear his whispers, sense his unseen tendrils writhing all around us.
I know, Illyria. What are you suggesting?
Sylvanas commands what may be the only army capable of defeating Nazarth. For the sake of Azeroth, perhaps we should stand aside and let her.
Your sister will not fight for us, Illyria. When Sylvanas realized the war was on the cusp of ending, she lured both fleets into Ajara's hands. Not to find victory, but to meet death.
In the end, death claims us all. Eitrig told me those were among the last words Sylvanas spoke to Vol'jin.
We cannot wage two wars. Sylvanas must fall. Here, Now, before all is lost.
It shall be so, my king. Verisa and I will scout her line for weaknesses. Good luck to all of us.
Indeed. I mean, I do understand Illyria's sentiment there. I mean, she is still her sister. Though really she should be giving Verisa a hard time for this, but anyways. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was an incident between Verisa and Sylvanas.
Ah, you're the perfect candidate to control this magnificent application of technology. We've souped up the mine bot 5000 with a few choice improvements. Improvements made possible by my incredible genius. Anyway, this baby should be able to clear out anything in its path. Mines, boulders, and some skulking assassins.
Whoosh. Whoosh. No cooldown. Saboteurs. Boom. 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 Detonate the landmines! Boom! And... self-destruct sequence initiated. Would you look at that? The way is clear.
Of course it is. No Miss Technology never fails.
The day was saved thanks to Tink Master Overspark's unmatched ingenuity. Ugh, whatever. Let's just get to the front. Love how Gazlo just didn't care about taking credit for that. Not much of an ego when it comes to Gazlo, unlike Overspark. Oh, oh. Yeah, gotta remember, this is a bit of a separate instance. Man, I imagine the people who were throwing out criticisms about Siege of Orgrimmar 2.0 were just laughing their heads off when this happened. Now, I believe this is where Greymane is. Yep.
Stormwind honors your service to the Alliance.
We may have rejoined the Vanguard, but Sylvanas' forces have been harrying our front line.
Our curse is also our greatest gift.
Long have I waited for this moment. I will finally claim justice for Liam.
Stand strong,
A just
hero.
cause is always worth fighting for.
In the chaos of all the rock slides, Sylvanas dispatched her saboteurs to sneak past our sentries and plant bombs in our siege weaponry. Several of them have already been lost. We cannot afford to lose more. While some of the Horde have joined forces with us, many within Orgrimmar remain loyal to Sylvanas. Her saboteurs have infiltrated our ranks and are posing as our technicians. Her assassins are lurking in the shadows. Stop any loyalists that you encounter before they can cause any harm. Saurfang maintains that the key to taking Orgrimmar is to exploit its multiple points of entry. He led the city's defenses for years, and he knows its vulnerabilities better than anyone. We are spread thin as it is, but I trust that that his judgment in this matter. We must also fortify Thunderbluff in case Sylvanas plans to assault it while our forces are committed here. Deliver these deployment orders to our officers. We will assail all of Orgrimmar's gates at once while also defending Thunderbluff.
Again, we need you and your best soldiers to flank the city from the western gate.
And leave you here unguarded with them? If I wanted to harm him, I'd have done it in the stockades.
No one knows Orgrimmar's defenses better than Saurfang. We need to trust each other if we are to succeed.
Very well. But the Banshee is clever. Dividing our forces might play right into her hands.
I like how Zakan and Shaw are just kind of standing guard outside. Again, I like this. We have 7th Legion battle mages, and we have Nightborn battle mages. Because, of course, Thalyssra and Jaina would work well together. Like, the pairing between these forces is just one of those, like, duh kind of join-ups.
A long road lies before us.
It is time to end this cycle of hatred. Coming from Jaina, considering where she was at the beginning of this expansion, that just shows how much she has just kind of flipped and grown during this expansion when it comes to her feelings towards this conflict. At one point in this expansion, she was ready to, like, annihilate all the Horde without hesitation. And now she wants this to stop. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I love what they did with Jaina. To the point where now, by the end of this expansion, Jaina is actually one of those who's in favor of the armistice and the peace between the factions heading into Shadowlands. Is something I'm hugely in favor of. I have deployment orders from Saurfang and King Rin.
A single spark can set the world. First Arcanist, we are to shield our forces from magical assault as they lay siege to the city.
A wise decision. We can do so more effectively from higher ground. Lord Admiral, might I ask about the spellcraft you employed at Lordaeron? The levitating warship?
Would you believe me if I told you it was a Kul Tiras trade secret?
Summoning the ship, perhaps. But as for the enchanted cannons...
It reminds me of when we were in Suramar, and Khadgar and Oculus met, and Oculus was like, "You teleported an entire city," and Khadgar's like, "Well, I did have help." What a suspicious crate. Let's get rid of that. Over here we have Chandris and Lorthamar.
The Sentinels stand ready.
At last Sylvanas will face retribution for Teldrassil. Saurfang and King Rin have assigned your forces to the northern gate.
Goddess watch over you.
So, we are to strike from the north. A sound plan. But there is no telling what treachery Sylvanas has in store for us.
She fought beside you for many years, both in life and in undeath. You must know her well.
Perhaps I did, long ago. But now... Our forces are few in number. We must make use of the surrounding terrain when we assault the gate.
The Sentinels have made use of that terrain for millennia. Our knowledge of the land was old when the Farstriders were young.
Yes, of course.
Mela.
I am Mela. I stand as High Chieftain.
The Legion, the Naga, and now each other. How much must war cost us before we bring it to an end? That is an excellent question, Mela. High Chieftain, you have been tasked with defending the skies above Thunderbluff.
High Mountain stands. There is little my Eagle Riders can do while Sylvanas controls the skies. but we can still defend Thunder Bluff. G is already there, tending to Bane's wounds.
I need to target
he said
something
he has
first.
seen Orgrimmar under siege once before, and does not wish to relive it. We will stand beside our Tauren kin, and await further orders from Sarfang. Earth Mother, watch over us all.
Indeed.
It's too far away. I need to get closer. I'm out of range. I can't attack that.
Okay. Now I just need the crates.
I need to get closer.
You got credit? Alright.
I need a target.
One more crate. There's one of the mounts from Dragon Soul I still don't have. Well, that day's gonna come when I actually try and commit farming Dragon Soul with my characters, but that day is not today.
Be vigilant.
Our people are tired and our resources are dwindling. We need every weapon and soldier at our disposal if we are to take the city. I wish this bloodshed wasn't necessary. Our forces are in place. All that is left is to begin the battle. We have prepared for this battle as best as we can. I pray that we all survive at what is to come.
A king is only as noble as the causes.
I'm ready. I wish this didn't say for the Alliance. I wish instead it said for Azeroth. Because that's what I would really say. I'm ready for Azeroth. Because even Sourfang's about to say that to Sylvanas. Anyways. Alright, time for the awesome cinematic.
Varrock, it's time. Those who defend Orgrimmar are Horde as well. Our brothers and sisters. These warriors have sworn to fight. For you Many lives will be lost. Or perhaps just one. Sylvanas Windrunner! I challenge Makora!
Now I just realized one of the big differences here is that Varrock realized that unlike the time with Garrosh, where there was a bunch of orcs fanatical for his cause, this is different.
A traitor leading traitors. Why should I accept your challenge?
You want to make me suffer. Brother, you cannot win. My old friend. You and I. We don't get to hide.
I set you on this path.
And we knew where it could lead. Walk with me. The rest of the way.
If anyone was worthy on the Horde to wield that sword, it's Sourfang. Goodbye, Varrock.
Let it be finished.
The High Overlord falls. I trusted you. And so did they. Death comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
Shut your face.
You cannot kill hope. You tried at Teldrassil. You failed. Hope remains. You set us to kill each other at Lordaeron. You failed. Here we stand. You just keep failing. The Horde will endure. The Horde is strong.
The Horde is nothing!
And her true colors are revealed at last to those who are blindly loyal to her.
You are all nothing!
And she finally reveals her power from the jailer.
If you could see yourselves as I see you. Toy soldiers in tin plate. Beasts who howl for honor. Standing as one. Savor it. Nothing lasts.
I'm off to Ice Crown to destroy the Lich King's crown, but that'll be another day.
What do we do now?
We bring him home.
So that he might join his son. Gosh, I just love the fact that also Anduin is going to help carry him into Orgrimmar alongside Thrall. This is what I'm talking about right here. I love that I've gone AFK watching that. Oh, for a second I thought I saw something highlighted there. You know, I just realized where we are. We may end up burying him right here, which is kind of funny because, well, this is also where we bury Nazgrim. I know this because if you play a Death Knight in Legion, this is where you come to raise him back as a horseman. But anyways. So, I've shown you this whole thing on the Horde side. Now let's see what it's like on the Alliance side because, well, obviously you're getting to see and hear certain reactions and such from characters we didn't get to hear from the first time we did this as Horde. So... but yeah, awesome cinematic, as always, from the team that works on the cinematic at Blizzard. They've always done a phenomenal job, and gosh, that was so good.
The true battle lies ahead.
Saurfang, he gave his life so that our soldiers wouldn't lose theirs. None of us anticipated that he would challenge Sylvanas directly. But perhaps she did. It does us no good to debate whether this was part of her plan or if she merely took advantage of an opportunity. We must be on our guard against her schemes. Saurfang won his final battle. I do not know what will become of the Horde, but I have hope that they will find a new path to follow. This sounds like the Jaina that I knew from Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. The one who had wanted to establish a bond, friendship, and peace with the Horde with Thrall back in the day. Not the one that we met at the beginning of this expansion or back in Legion, who wanted to bring the Horde to heel like the dogs they are. That was what she said to Anduin at the beginning of Legion. And now look how far Jaina has come. And she's right. He did win that battle. Because he got what he wanted. To cause Sylvanas to admit how she truly felt about the Horde. So, a couple things also. She's going to keep that mark on her eye going into Shadowlands. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've seen her Sylvanas' model for Shadowlands. She's getting a more updated new model for Shadowlands. And her model looks amazing. It looks so good. She has the scar over her eye that she just got from Saurfang, which is a great visual looking reminder. Also, she has a new outfit, which is much more spiky. A lot more spikes. And I think it looks really cool. And it's just kind of fitting for her appearance. You know. Saurfang, how could this have happened? The Alliance has known High Overlord Saurfang as both a sworn enemy and an invaluable ally. Anduin will want to honor his memory. Recall our forces and inform them of what has happened. Gen soldiers were dispatched to the Western Gate. You should be able to find him there.
Control your...
Yeah, just wait till you hear... Oh.
What manner of magic did Sylvanas use against Saurfang?
I had hoped either you or Thalyssra would have the answer to that question. I have never seen her wield such power.
It was unlike any magic I have ever encountered. I could sense none of it, even in her presence.
Then she must have only recently acquired it, or simply waited until now to reveal it.
Either way, it does not bode well for us. Whatever she is planning, She no longer needs the Horde to achieve it.
No, she doesn't. Why would she need the Horde to achieve it when she has the Jailer and all of his forces in the Shadowlands to do so? And I've heard different things from like different sources. I don't know what's concrete or not. I've heard that Sylvanas has had this power and has made a connection to the Jailer ever since the end of Wrath. That basically ever since the beginning of Cataclysm, Sylvanas has had this, I guess you could say, partnership with the Jailer. Now, I don't think she's had this power since Cataclysm, because, well, as we remember, back in Cataclysm, she got shot in the back and killed there back in Silverpine, and, well, she was basically just kind of shot in the back like a punk back then, so I doubt she had that power back then, otherwise she probably could have used that to save herself. I would imagine she only recently got this power, like Jaina said, but I don't know. That's just my speculation. But as I was going to say, just wait till you hear Greymane's reaction to what just happened. Because, of course, he was hopeful that we were finally going to take down Sylvanas. Well, she just got away. So, well, you can imagine what kind of reaction he's about to have hearing this news. Because he's probably still waiting for this to kind of get underway. And we're about to tell him, yeah, Sarafang's dead and Sylvanas got away. He's waited a long time for this moment to try and get revenge for his son.
You have my attention.
Oh my gosh. It's Darius Crowley. This is where he's been all this time? Where has he been all this time? This is the first time I've seen him this entire time. And this is where he is? What? He's just here, like, ready to go. Ready to fight. I thought he was just kind of away. Apparently not. So, Sarafang challenged Sylvanas to Mak'gora, and then...
Gilneas will prevail.
Sarafang is dead, and Sylvanas has escaped. This is no victory. I care not who leads the Horde, or if they tear each other apart. All that matters is slaying the Banshee, and we have missed our chance.
Also, Lorna Crowley. Now this is interesting. Darius Crowley shows up as green, friendly. Lorna shows up as yellow, kind of neutral. I wonder why that is. Also, take a look. I like this. Take a look at all the Worgen here. They've just got these claw weapons. I just think that's kind of awesome. Even Crowley's got one. Look at that. He's got a fist weapon with claws on it. I just think there's something really cool about a Worgen wielding a fist weapon with claws on it. There's just something kind of appealing to that, for me anyway. But yeah, just in case you were also curious, for those of you who don't know whether or not Lorna is a Worgen or not, she's clearly not a Worgen, as she's the only one standing there in her human form, because she doesn't have a Worgen form. I have discovered Orgrimmar as an Alliance character. Oh no, I'm about to be flagged for PvP! An Orgrimmar aerial sentry. Yikes. Better be careful.
The way forward will not be easy.
Many have lost their lives to this war. Let us hope that Saurfang is the last. No matter what doubts that he harbored, Saurfang was an honorable soldier. He prevented both a civil war within the Horde and the potential destruction of the Alliance. He brought an end to Sylvanas' reign and saved many lives at the cost of his own. We shall honor his sacrifice.
We cannot let the world fall to dark.
We will withdraw our forces from Durotar. Our purpose was to defeat Sylvanas. Though she yet lives, she no longer leads the Horde. Hopefully we can now unite against N'Zoth. King Anduin has asked us to join him in honoring Saurfang. Lead on, Jaina.
I will never forget.
I'm sorry, Miss Proudmoore.
Varrock Saurfang, son of Koruk, supreme commander of the might of Kalimdor, High Overlord of the Horde. He led the charge against the Lich King. He defended our world from the Legion. Saurfang inspired all of us to strive for true honor, and his legacy will live on in our deeds.
When the Alliance and Horde marched on Ahn'Qiraj, it was Saurfang who valiantly commanded our combined forces. Today, his courage saved thousands of lives on both sides of the battle. His sacrifice will never be forgotten.
You have earned your warrior's death, old friend. Now, greet your son with honor and glory.
Note that this time my character goes with them through the Borealis portal. When I did this as Horde, my character obviously stayed here. But this time my Alliance character goes through the portal during that cutscene. Nice little touch. You know what I would have liked, though? Because I was looking through the crowd. It was mainly just Horde. And I was really hoping there was going to be some Alliance forces there, mingling with them, just to help honor Saurfang there. But anyways.
I will do what I can.
We continue to fall into old habits of mistrust and suspicion, of hatred and war. And yet, we also find ourselves... Hang on a moment, guys. We also find ourselves banding together and rising against the forces that would destroy our world. I pray that the day will come when we break the cycle for good.
This is how war always ends for us. With blood on our hands, mourning those we lost. No amount of fighting can ever bring them back. The cycle ends when we choose to walk away. I wasn't ready to learn that lesson before. Few may be ready now, but learn it we must. The time for dreaming is over.
Aha. Alright, so we will do that follow-up because that's going to be the follow-up about her brother and Kalia. I'll show that later. Right now, I have a guildmate asking if I want to join for a run of a 15 Mythic Keystones, so I'm going to cut this off and go join them for a Mythic Plus 15 run. So I will see you guys for the continuation of this next time, where we will be checking in on Kalia and Derek. And then I will be showing you the finale of the Black Empire campaign, where we not only have Magni congratulate us for defeating N'Zoth, but I will also show you the cutscene in Stormwind about the armistice and peace that has been reached between the Alliance and Horde, heading into Shadowlands. And I might possibly show you guys the Ny'alotha raid. It'll more likely be the LFR version, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, let's just say I did my LFR Ny'alotha experience with my Horde character. That was an interesting experience, but we'll see. I will see you guys then.